So, dear students, let's see what we are going to study in today's lecture. So, today we will study about the organic matter, then decomposition of organic matter, how the organic matter is getting decomposed by varieties of different organisms, including the earthworm, and then we'll also study which are the different types of living organism or the living organic material that are responsible for transformation of the organic matter. Let's see. So, in today's lecture, dear students, you will learn about what is organic matter, and you will also learn about the ground population in biotransformation, that is transformation of the organic matter. So today's topic is ground population transformation of organic matter. So first of all, what is the organic matter, right? So organic matter is the matter or the material produced by plants as well as animals, microbes, everything, whatever living organisms are there, their byproducts is said to be the organic matter. ठीक आहे, जसं आपण म्हटलं की प्लांट ओरिजिनेटेड असेल तर तुमचं ॲग्रिकल्चरल वेस्ट आलं, येस, तुमचं डोमेस्टिक वेस्ट आलं, yes, including the human as well as the other animal fecal matter as well as the dead bodies of other animals. Okay, so all these things they comprises the organic matter, right? And if this organic matter is left on the ground as it is without decomposed or without being transformed into the humus or the decomposed, then what will happen? Yes, because of the dead decomposing, or you can say putrefying smell of that organic matter, if it has not been decomposed, right? Because of the putrefying smell, there will be pollution, there will be a huge spread of varieties of diseases takes place, right? And later, the pollution will be at the highest peak. So this can be avoided by the decomposers, or you can say the detritivores as well as decomposers and the organisms, they carry out the decomposition of this dead decomposing bodies, right? That's why our environment is remain pollution free, healthy, right? So can we live peacefully. सो आता ह्या सगळ्यामध्ये जिथे आपण बघितलं की ऑर्गॅनिक मॅटर जसं की डेड डिकम्पोजिंग बॉडीज म्हटलं, प्लांट डेड झाल्यावर, ॲनिमल्स डेड झाल्यावर त्याचं काय होतं, कुठे जातं? जर ते डायजेस्ट डिकम्पोज झालेच नाही तर खूप जास्त प्रदूषण होणार. अल्टिमेटली ऑल द लिव्हिंग ऑर्गॅनिझम्स प्रेझेंट ऑन दिस प्लॅनेट अर्थ विल बी सफरिंग फ्रॉम varieties of diseases. Yes? Okay. So as to avoid this, decomposers, they are playing a very important role and they carry out transformation of all this material into more toxic form so that there will be no pollution. Ultimately, everyone can live a peaceful and healthy life and our environment will be clean, neat and healthy. Okay. So the living part of the soil organic matter. Now what it means, the living part of soil organic matter. We said in the soil, organic matter is there, or we can say the plant and animal bodies, they are nothing but organic in nature because they are made up of what? They are made up of carbon atom, right? So the living part, okay, the living part of the soil organic matter includes soil मध्ये कुठलं कुठलं organic matter असतं? Living. We are talking about living, not the dead. So microorganisms, yes, they are the living soil matter, soil organic matter, right? Bacteria are there, viruses are there, fungi are there, protozoa, algae, varieties of a small living organic matter present in the soil which help for the biodegradation of varieties of dead bodies of the animals, right? And apart from that, the plant root as well as insects, earthworms and larger animals such as moles, mice and rabbits, they are also playing important role in this transformation of the organic decomposing organic matter, right? What happened when the animal bodies they become dead, okay, when the plants they become dead, right? So the microorganisms they used to grab on them, they used to digest it, right, by secreting either some kind of enzymes which can digest it, or either just like the earthworm by either feeding on that organic matter so that they can digest that organic matter, right? And further convert it into a more simplified form which can be easily absorbed, that is in the form of minerals which can be easily absorbed by the plants as well as the other organisms, especially producers. Okay, so the living part of the soil is responsible for which is the living part of the soil. Oh, छोटे-छोटे microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa. Even not only that, the insects are also there, even earthworms, larger animals are also there. So all these are said to be the living part of the soil. And हे सगळे कशासाठी responsible आहे? They all are useful or responsible for keeping the air and the water available for everybody. Because as an organic matter is get decomposed, so there will be no pollution. And the environment will remain healthy, soil will remain healthy, as well as the water will remain pure for everybody. Okay, for everybody's use. So the living part of the soil is responsible for keeping the air and water available for everybody, as well as provide the plant nutrients, even breaking down the pollutants and maintaining the soil structure. So the decomposers and detritivores, they are playing very important role for maintaining health of the soil as well as an ecosystem, rather we say. Okay, so the environment healthy राहतं आपण म्हणतो की yes we are cleaning our houses every day, even we also clean our surroundings every day, but what do we do? काय करतो आपण exactly we just collect the debris from one place and throw it to other place, isn't it? काय करतो एका जागेवरून कचरा उचलतो दुसरीकडे नेऊन टाकतो, त्याला क्लिनिंग म्हणतो का, त्याला एन्व्हायरमेंटल प्युरिफिकेशन म्हटलं का, डिकम्पोजिशन म्हटलं नाही म्हटलं. Why? Because we just throw the garbage, or you can say the litters, from one place to another place. So this is not the decomposition, this is not the purification of the environment, right? So when we do so, that garbage is further being utilized, or it is being converted into the humus or organic matter by varieties of decomposing organisms. Then purifying organisms are there which feed on them, right? Decomposers are there, saviors, yes, saviors are there, these scavengers are there. Even apart from that, the decomposing organisms play very important role for this transformation, right? Okay, so here in this diagram, dear students, you can see what the producer plant is shown, right? The plant is what? It is nothing but a producer, right? It is nothing but producer. So from that producer, on that producer, who is going to feed? The primary consumer, they going to feed. So like insects and herbivore animals, they used to feed on the plants, right? So whatever energy or the organic energy which is trapped in the form of plants or the fruits, okay, it is then transferred into what? To the herbivores, and from the herbivores, then the consumers, right? Primary consumers. Like this, the energy is going to be circulated in the ecosystem. Now, what happened if those plant bodies they become dead? See here, I have shown the fallen leaf, right? काय होत असेल जर पानं गळाली किंवा मग झाडाची डेथ झाली तर काय होत असेल? Yes, because when the tree itself dies or the leaves they get fall down from the tree, what happened? Yes, there are the detritivores. किंवा आपण म्हणू शकतो तिथे की असे organisms असतात including worms, they can feed on it, right? आणि bacteria पण असतात, काही fungi असतात, they used to feed on such a decomposing matter. पानं गळती झाल्यानंतर ते डिकम्पोज होणार in presence of we can say moisture as well as the temperature optimum. Okay, decomposition, and that decomposition is carried out by whom? It has been carried out by fungi, bacteria, as well as the worms are also there. Invertebrate animals are there which help them to decompose. So this energy in the energy keep on circulating in the ecosystem with the help of varieties of organisms. Not only the earthworm, but some insects are also there, lipids are also there. Even along with that, the we can say fungi, bacteria are also there. They play very important role. Even snails, such They are also not lagging behind. So all of them play important role in the decomposition of our organic matter. Let's see the difference between the decomposers and detritivores. Okay, decomposers and detritivores. No doubt, both of them play important role, or both of them play similar kind of a role. So the decomposers or detritivores is also called as the decomposers. Okay, because two of them helps to degrade the organic matter, dead organic matter, and convert it to the simplified form so that it can be available to the plants. ठीक है आता हे डेट्रिटिव्स आणि डिकम्पोजर्स एकसारखा रोल प्ले करतात कशासाठी जे पण ऑर्गॅनिक मॅटर आहे डेड डिकम्पोजिंग ऑर्गॅनिक मॅटर आहे त्याचं कन्व्हर्जन करतात ते सिंपल फॉर्म मध्ये जेणेकरून ते युटिलाइज होईल बाकीच्या ॲनिमलसाठी स्पेशली प्लांट्ससाठी. Right, let's see what is the difference in that. So decomposers is an organism that breaks down dead organic matter in the environment. What is it? It is nothing but the organism that break down the dead organic matter in the environment. Whereas a detritivores is a decomposer. Yes, as I said earlier, detritivores is what? Is nothing but a type of a decomposer that eat dead organic matter and digest internally by its gut or through its gut. It used to digest it, right? And so as to gain the nutrition, and while digesting it, it also converted it into a simple form, right? So there is a slight difference actually. The decomposers, they are just like bacteria, fungi, protista, means what? Unicellular, simple organisms, right? So what they used to do? They used to release some kind of enzymes on the dead bodies, and which helps to digest that dead organic matter so that it will be utilized by themselves. So they used to absorb the nourishment, right? Even in the detritivores, what are they? They are nothing but the earthworms, millipedes, sea stars, crabs, jungleflies, all they are said to be detritivores. Okay, so they used to feed on the dead organic matter. So this is the difference between the detritivores and the decomposers. So as I said, decomposers, what they do is they used to secrete the enzymes on the organic matter in order to digest it so that they can absorb. And detritivores actually they eat the organic matter, carry out its internal digestion, further utilize it, as well as setting the nutrient free for environment. Okay, so dear students, here is the food chain. Rather saying food chain, what is it? It is actually the convergence cycle or the energy flow chart in the ecosystem, right? As we said, primary producers are there. What are they? They are nothing but the grasses, plants, right? And what they do is they used to produce the organic matter. They used to synthesize organic matter through the process of photosynthesis in presence of sunlight and water and air as well as the soil, right? So whatever organic matter is trapped in the form of the food or fruits, we can say, is further being utilized by the primary consumers. So what primary consumers are? Primary consumers are the organisms which feed on the grasses, which feed on the plant product. So they called as a primary consumers, right? So here the example of a grasshopper is shown. So it is said to be the primary consumer feeding on the grasses or the plant part directly. Apart from that, so energy which was produced by the producers, or it is packed in the form of a food as an organic matter, it is further get transferred to what? The primary consumer, that is the grasshopper, from where the energy is get transferred to the frogs when the frog feed on the grasshopper, right, or insects. Then the part of energy or whatever energy is accumulated in the secondary consumer, that is in the frog, is then further get transferred to the snake, that is a tertiary consumer, right? So this energy, one of the law of thermodynamics is there, that is energy cannot be created, cannot be lost. It just transformed from one stage to another stage. Okay, it get transformed in the food chain. असं होत नाही की the energy आपण खाली गेली ती कुठे जाणार आहे किंवा प्लांटने प्रोड्यूस केलेले फ्रुट्स आहे त्याच्यामध्ये एनर्जी, राईट? मग ती एनर्जी जर आपण नाही खाली तर ती गेली कुठे? somewhere it must have gone ना. मग the primary consumers कोण आहेत त्यांच्या बॉडीमध्ये ती एनर्जी मग ती लॉस्ट झाली का नाही लॉस्ट झाली that energy is being utilized by your body for performing biological activities बरोबर. मग आता जर प्रायमरी प्रोड्युसरला फिडिंग केलं प्रायमरी प्रोड्युसर कोण जगतो सेकंडरी प्रोड्युसरने खाल्लं तर मग ती एनर्जी लॉस्ट झाली का नाही. It get transferred to the secondary consumer. Likewise, it get transferred tertiary to the final or a quaternary consumer. Well, quaternary consumer मध्ये कोण feed करतो? Nobody is there who can feed on the cow or eagle like that. Yes or no? Right? Nobody is there who can feed on the final or a quaternary consumer. Then what will happen? What will happen? Does the energy going to lost in the ecosystem? No, it is not going to lost in the ecosystem. Then what will happen? When that hawk or we can say the eagle or a quaternary consumer is become dead, then its dead body is going to be decomposed further by the fungi, bacteria, right? As well as a nematode or you can say worms. They carry out it's a decomposition. Whatever organic matter, whatever energy which was packed in the form of the hawk or inside the body tissues of the hawk or the quaternary consumer is set free. Okay, set free so that the minerals, nutrients, they can be utilized by the producers, right? Set free into the soil, which will be utilized further by the producers. And this energy cycle or this organic matter is going to transform further in the food chain or in the ecosystem, right? So transformation of the organic matter is important at every stage. There is a specific kind of a biotransformation or decomposition takes place further so as to absorb the energy, so as to produce the nutrients at the different levels. So dear students, there are some factors apart from the organisms which involve in decomposition, there are some factors which are responsible for the decomposition process, right? There is their presence and absence, that is their optimum level as well as a high level or a depletion from the normal one is going to affect the process of decomposition. So let's see which are the factors. I have mentioned here three main factors. Okay, temperature, moisture, and pH are the three important factors that shows specific effect on the process of decomposition. Or the temperature is a effect. Let's see. So microbial activity responds exponentially to increased temperature until the enzymes get denatured. Right? याचा अर्थ काय की कुठलेही मायक्रोब्स आपण म्हटलं की मायक्रो ऑर्गॅनिझम व्हॉट दे डज दे यूज टू हेल्प फॉर द डिकम्पोजिशन प्रोसेस. मग टेम्परेचरचा मायक्रोब्स वरती काय फरक पडतो काय परिणाम होत असेल. सो ॲट द ऑप्टिमम टेम्परेचर ठीक आहे टेम्परेचर जेव्हा सुटेबल असेल ॲट द टाइम दिस मायक्रोब्स विल परफॉर्म बेटर देअर ॲक्टिव्हिटी विल बी एनहान्स त्यांची डायजेस्ट करायची कॅपॅसिटी किंवा मग डिकम्पोजिशन कॅपॅसिटी एन्झाईम प्रोड्युसिंग कॅपॅसिटी बऱ्यापैकी चांगल्या लेवलला असते. मग जसं जसं टेम्परेचर वाढत जातं त्यांची मायक्रोबची ऍक्टिव्हिटी वाढत जाते पण कुठे अप टू अ सर्टन लिमिट देयर इज अ लिमिट राईट. असं नाही होणार की मायक्रोब्स दोज आर ऍक्टिव्ह ॲट 30 डिग्री सेल्सियस. ठीक आहे मार्क माय वर्ड्स इफ द मायक्रोब्स दोज आर ऍक्टिव्ह ॲट 30 डिग्री सेल्सियस will show better activity at 45 degree or 40 degrees Celsius. Is it like that? No. Then what? If the microbes are active, is their optimum activity is observed what at the 30 degrees Celsius. So they can tolerate up to 32, 33. But after that, the temperature rises to 35 or 40. The protein which are present inside those microorganisms start denaturing. Right? They will start denaturing. And after that, what will happen? Once the proteins they get denatured, there will be ultimately death of the microbes. So temperature is playing a very important role for the microbial activity, right? Optimum temperature ensures the optimum activity, decomposing activity of the microbes. But higher temperature and lower temperature is not suitable for the microbial activity. Apart from that, moisture is again one of the important factors. Now the moisture is a role. Yes, microbial activity has the optimum or it requires a optimum moisture, right? का optimum moisture ची गरज आहे जर moisture कमी झालं हवेतली आर्द्रता कमी झाली किंवा त्या ecosystem specifically and that we'll talk about the small ecosystem त्या ecosystem मध्ये जर आर्द्रता कमी झाली तर काय होणार आहे any guesses yes there will be desiccation dryness येणार आहे right and because of the dryness or water loss there will be ultimately the slow down body activity and even death may be occur in severe cases if the moisture is not maintained. Right? So low moisture is responsible for desiccation as well as the slow diffusion of this enzymes or in the material. As well as a high moisture. If the high moisture is there, what will happen? There will be, if in the surrounding high moisture is there, that responsible for the low oxygen concentration in the air. So that air will be having, if high moisture is there, low oxygen level will be there, and no lignin degradation. What is a lignin? Lignin is basically a polymer. It's actually the organic polymer which is present inside the structural tissues of the plant. So rather it is difficult for degradation, right? And at a high moisture, when there is a low oxygen, so ultimately there will be slow rate of decomposition by the microbes and no lignin decomposition will be observed. So again, the temperature and moisture play a very important role for decomposition. They should be maintained at the optimum level. Then apart from that, one more is there that is a pH, right? So most microbes exhibit optimum activity near pH 7. आपल्याला सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे pH 7 हा काय असतो हा एक स्टँडर्ड आहे न्यूट्रल pH आहे most of the microorganisms they are showing a maximum their activity at pH 7 right but apart from that there are certain fungi which are active at the acidic pH the acidic pH means that a pH which is lower than the 7 okay pH lower than the 7 the 6 acid 5 acid 4 acid that is called as acidic pH आता अशा लोअर पीएच ला किंवा ऍसिडिक पीएच ला काही फंजाई आहेत की दे आर क्वाइट ऍक्टिव्ह राइट इन डिकम्पोजिशन in certain bacteria they requires a moderate pH जे काही बॅक्टेरिया ते ऍसिडिक पीएच ला पण सर्वाइव्ह करतात काही बॅक्टेरिया म्हणजे नॉट लाइक द सेम बॅक्टेरिया इज सर्वाइव्हिंग at the acidic pH as well as same at the alkaline pH no there is some kind of a bacteria which prefers the acidic environment. Some other group of organisms, that is bacteria, they prefers the alkaline, whereas some are there they prefer neutral pH range. Right? So, dear students, the factors affecting rate of decomposition we have just studied now. That includes temperature, moisture, and pH. No doubt. Apart from that, there are many factors, but these three are the most important. Okay. Alright, now let's see the energy cycling as well as the organic matter cycling of the organic matter in an ecosystem. Right? So I have shown here on the slide that is microorganism, double-headed arrow, then plants, then soil. Some wordings are also there. Microorganism exudates, direct mechanism is there. Organic litter is there, nutrient, soil, metabolic activity. So many wordings are given. Right? What's after that? So plant are the primary producers, right? What are they? They are primary producers. So on the bodies of the plants, some microorganisms they are present, right? They are living in symbiotic association on the plant body. So whatever exudation coming from the plants, बरोबर आहे जर तुम्हाला माहिती असेल की प्लांट्स हे काही प्रकारचे सिक्रेशन्स प्रोड्यूस करतात right? So whatever exudations are produced by the plants, these exudations are used by the microorganisms on which they used to feed. But microorganisms getting material, organic matter from the plants. Then in return what they give to the plant. So direct mechanism, I said, or here is given direct mechanism. So when the microorganism they used to feed on that exudation, so that helps plant again. Ultimately that helps plant for freeing the stress, right? So like that. As well as returning certain kind of nutrients in a different way. Apart from that, when those plants they become dead, किंवा त्याचे पानं गळत असतील किंवा त्याचे branches तुटले असतील सडत असेल, so that organic litter that is called as organic litter. आता हे organic पालापाचोळा ultimately that will fall down in the soil, that will get mixed in the soil. मग mix झाल्यानंतर काय होणार आहे? Ultimately whatever microbes are there, microorganisms are there, as well as the nematodes are there, or other organisms like earthworm is there, right? Snails, slugs, they are also taking important. All together, they carry out the decomposition of that organic matter, right? And further releasing nutrient free. So those nutrients which are set free now, some part of those nutrients were also utilized by the plant for the nourishment, or they also utilized by the plant for getting the nourishment. Even the microorganisms which were decomposing them will be utilizing it, right, for getting the energy. So part of the energy is utilized by the microorganism, part of the nutrient is again returned to the soil, and the part of nutrient is utilized by whom? The plants for production of the energy or for photosynthesis, for their growth, right? So this is what, there is a cyclic movement of the organic matter. Especially, we can say there is a cyclic movement of the energy in the ecosystem, right? Okay, here I have shown the nutrient cycle. Okay, nutrient cycle. So, see here, what is our topic today? Our topic is transformation, ground population involved in transformation of the organic matter is our topic. Right? So, the organic matter produced by whom? Ultimately, the primary producers, like the plants, they used to produce the organic matter. Yes or no? Yes. आता हे organic matter, plants का This is very interesting diagram I have shown here, right? Which will be help us for understanding what is the nutrient cycle. So whatever plants, means whatever nutrients are trapped in the form of fruits, that is again organic matter, that will be consumed, that will be utilized by the animals. Even leaves are used by the animals or cattle for food. Some part of the leaves they fall down on the ground, right? Which is whatever is the form of the organic matter produced by the plant will be utilized by the secondary consumer, right? I have shown here the dead leaves and other plant and animal matter, right? आता animals ने खाल्ल्यानंतर पुढे काय होणार आहे? एनर्जी कुठे जाणार आहे? Either those animals will going to means their fecal matter will be dropped down on the ground, or if the animal become dead, their bodies will fall on the ground, right? Ultimately, in any form, that organic matter will be returned to the soil. आता रिटर्न झालं सॉइलला, पण त्याचं डिकम्पोजिशन झालं नाही तर दॅट इज अगेन नॉट ऑफ एनी यूज. इट इज नॉट बीन युटिलाइज्ड बाय द प्लांट डायरेक्टली. जर डिकम्पोजिशन नाही झालं तर मग पुढे काय होणार आहे? तर डेड मटेरियल सॉइलमध्ये रिटर्न आलंय बघा. सो डिकम्पोजर्स अँड डेट्रिओर्स आर द ऑर्गॅनिझम्स दॅट ब्रेक डाऊन द ऑर्गॅनिक मॅटर. तुम्ही बघितलं असेल सर्टन त्याची प्रक्रिया होत असते निसर्गामध्ये, राईट? अँड हू ब्रिंग्स दॅट प्रोसेस? That the process is carried out by the decomposers as well as the consumers, or can say detritivores, right? Detritivores, decomposers, certain kind of the insects are also there which are helps in decomposition process. So anyhow the decomposition will be carried out for the minerals and other nutrients they released in the soil, and as the nutrients they are set free in the soil. These nutrients are again utilized by the plant for its growth. Right? So this nutrient cycle is going to continue. Every time it is going to continue. It is not going to last anywhere. Here, I would like to give you one very interesting example. Right? When we eat some fruit, कुठलाही फळ असेल तुम्ही खाल्लं खात असताना काय होतं? We used to crush it, right? With the help of our teeth. आपण काय करतो? त्याला बारीक करायचं काम करतो. Meanwhile, the saliva is also get mixed, enzymes they get mixed. And थोडंसं partial kind of digestion सुरुवात होते. Then it passes to the stomach where HCl, acid is added on it for the acidic decomposition, acidic degradation takes place, acidic digestion takes place. The same is further passed into the intestine. मग intestine मध्ये protein digestion होतं, fat digestion होतं, right? And then it goes to the posterior part of the intestine, ileum and all that, right? Where it gets absorbed. This is what the process of digestion takes place. Once rather doing this, if I said I just want to put an apple directly into my intestine, so that without crunching, without digesting at the acidic alkaline level, I want to absorb it. Is it possible? Is it possible? No. तुम्ही जर डायरेक्टली फूड इंटेस्टाइन मध्ये टाकलं तर ते डायजेस्ट झालेलं नसणार. डायजेस्ट झालं आणि ऍब्सॉर्ब कसं होणार आहे? मग ऍब्सॉर्ब होण्यासाठी डायजेशन होणं गरजेचं आहे. कधी कधी आपल्याला कॉन्स्टिपेशन होतं, त्याच्यामध्ये आपलं डायजेशन होत नाही, प्रॉपर डायजेशन होत नाही, प्रॉपर फिकल मटेरियल पास ऑन होत नाही. किती त्रास होतो? Yes, exactly. So, if the proper digestion is there, then only the nutrients will be utilized. Nutrients will be absorbed by our body, further it is utilized for our growth, day-to-day activity, including. So, similarly, if the organic matter though it returns to the soil, but if it has not been decomposed, and if not decomposed, nutrients will not circulate. And in that case, though a huge amount of organic matter is present in the soil, but if it is not decomposed, it is not of any use because the nutrients they are locked, right? Nutrients they are locked, they are not free to use by the plants or the primary predators. So decomposers they are playing very important role for the digestion, or you can say setting free the nutrient from organic matter. Now see how the decomposition process simply takes place, right? So microorganisms they carry out the decomposition of different types of organic molecules which are present in the soil. Right, different types of organic molecules म्हटलं जसं की plant litters असेल म्हणजे plant material असेल, dead bodies of the plant, leaf litter, agricultural waste, even human waste, right, as well as the dead bodies of other animals. These are all contribute to the organic matter. So different type of organic matter which is present in the soil. Okay, and the microorganisms they carry out decomposition of such a complex organic matter and convert them into a simple compound like sugar, amino acid, cellulose. Right? Further, it can be utilized by the plant, or you can say further it can be utilized by the primary producers. But the organisms present in the soil itself. Right? So other chemicals such as the resins and waxes, they are not easy to decompose by the decomposers. For their degradation, for their decomposition, long time is required, though they are plant originated. But still, they are complex compounds, so requires a little more time for their digestion or degradation. Okay. After that, dear students, let's see what are the essential functions performed by the different members of the soil organism. Right? म्हणजे काय की as we have already said, varieties of organisms, including the fungi, bacteria, earthworms, snails, sludge, they are playing important role for decomposition, right? So these members, how they involved in decomposition, what functions they used to perform, or like different functions, different activities taking place at the soil surface, which are the organisms actually involved in it, right? So here I have shown a chart which can tell us how the soil pH can be maintained, soil detoxification as well as pest control, natural again suppression of the pest population is being conducted, right, by using the natural organisms. So maintenance of the soil structure. So first function is what? Maintenance of the soil structure. Who performs this function? Which are the organisms which involved in maintaining the soil structure? So some invertebrates. They are also called as a recyclable invertebrates. Those carry out the recycling of the organic matter. Right. So some invertebrates are there in plant roots which absorb it. Right. Some other microorganisms are there. That is again bacteria and fungi. Okay. They maintain the soil structure. Okay, they maintain the soil structure. Even gas exchange and carbon sequestration. So carbon sequestration is what? Is nothing but the accumulation, magnification of a carbon in the soil. Right? So gas exchange and carbon sequestration. Who is carrying out this function? Mostly the microorganisms as well as plant roots, which bears again the nodules. And सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे root nodules contain some kind of a specific kind of a bacteria, right? And these bacteria again involved in the fixation of nitrogen as well as the exchange of the gases, right? So some invertebrate animals are also there which are helpful for the carbon sequestration, even soil detoxification. As we said earlier, if the varieties of activities, decomposition or cellular packaging activities are taking place at the soil surface, then there is a kind of a toxin produced in the soil, right? Because in every, see, when we eat the food, आपण अन्न खातो तेव्हा काय होतं सगळंच सगळं आपल्या बॉडीमध्ये ऍब्सॉर्ब होतं का नाही certain part of that food is remain as an undigested material which is thrown out in the form of a fecal matter, right? And if it is retained in the body, what will be happen? That will cause a toxicity. Means some kind of unwanted materials are there which get absorbed. They reflect again on your physiology as well as the stool. If it is retained in the body, that causes hardening. Ultimately, that will block the intestine, and that will become very very difficult. Okay, so soil detoxification mostly that is carried out by the microorganisms. Toxicant or the waste material, if it is retained in the soil, okay, so that will be further decomposed, converted into simplified form. So if the complex material converted into simplified form before they are converting into a toxic substances, that is again one kind of a purification or detoxification, right? So decomposition of the organic matter. Who is going to carry out the decomposition of organic matter? Yes, saprophytic as well as the dendritous. Saprophytic organisms, these students, are nothing but the organism which used to release some kind of enzymes, digest the organic matter and absorb. Okay, they called as a saprophytic. And dendrivores are also there, is which used to feed on the dead decomposing organic matter. Like okay, so saprophytes like a fungi, bacteria, and dendrivores like snails, sludge, as well as the earthworms, right? And other microbes are also there which involved in decomposition of organic matter. So suppression of the pest, parasites, and diseases. Why the pest population will be more? Because see, whenever the organic matter is get decomposed, right? So energy which was locked in the form of organic matter, dead bodies of the organic matter, it is then set free. And once the nutrients are more, there will be more growth of the producers, and on which those pest organisms were feeding will also go again, as well as if the dead decomposition is going to be more. So the bacteria, means a disease causing bacteria will also grow further and the spread of disease will be there. But this is suppressed, right? This is suppressed naturally. And who is going to suppress it? Who is going to control it? Yes, fungi, nematodes, bacteria, microorganisms, earthworms, and some predators are there which control the population of the harmful organisms in nature. Right? So the एक नवी terminology, predators. What are the predators? Predators are nothing but organism which feed on the other organism. म्हणजे की जसं फूड चेन आपण याच्या आधी एक सायकल बघितली, राईट? त्याच्यामध्ये की ग्रासोफर दाखवलं on which the another bird, another organism that is frog was feeding. Right? Frogs are other predator. किंवा मग rather दुसऱ्या याच्यामध्ये म्हटलं birds are. Birds feeding on the insect. आता insect कुठले? सगळं ऍग्रिकल्चरल लँड मध्ये पेस्ट ऑर्गॅनिझम आहे जे की क्रॉप वरती फिडिंग करत असते, ते कॉल्ड ॲज अ पेस्ट. ठीक आहे, मग बर्ड्स दे यूज टू फीड ऑन द इन्सेक्ट, सो दे कॉल्ड ॲज अ प्रिडेटर्स. Right? The predators is nothing but one organism which feed on the other organisms. Right? So after that, nutrient cycling. So nutrient cycling, who is going to be responsible for cycling of the nutrient in an ecosystem? So mostly the microorganisms and plant roots as well as some soil and litter feeding invertebrates which were listed earlier. That is microbes, saprobes, detritivores, fungi, bacteria, earthworms, snails, sludge, insects. All of them together responsible for what? Nutrient cycling, circulation of the nutrient in an ecosystem. Okay, so dear students, we have studied how the decomposition of organic matter takes place and which are the microorganisms responsible for decomposition of organic matter. Even along with that, the role played by the earthworm we have studied, right? And in our next lecture, let's see what we are going to study. So in our next lecture, we'll be studying the humus cycle, right? Which is again based on the organic matter. So we'll study the humus cycle for vermicompost technology, then how humus is produced. Okay, okay, how humus is produced. No doubt, there is a slight difference in the humus and the decomposed. Right. So that difference we'll study on next lecture. So with this, I'm saying thank you so much and take care.